Don't do it, Lance. That's some weird stuff. That's
it's happened before. Tucson played a game of support.
It's not
Camille.
happening.
I don't think so either.
And also, we got a last-minute switch here. So Keen is going to be on the Vladimir into the Jace matchup. That matchup has been getting better and better for the Vladimir over time as the Jace...
Side of Afreeca Freecs, shenanigans have been enacted. A lot of different things going on here. Keen wants to gather some storm in the top side and spread it to a team fight. The team fight starts with a kick. It could go to some real knock-up parties. They have a lot of different ways to open up aiming, popping off, but there's no guaranteed 3 items for AD carry Yasuo by any means.
And also, Keen's going to have a rough time as well if Griffin can get things going in the early stages of the game. They haven't been able to do that, though, in their last few games. Let's see whether Game 3 is going to be any different. Already, Griffin are well and truly on the Afreeca side of the map. Aiming in center, made it to the safety of their turret.
Coming here, the sweeping lens doesn't catch the ward put down. Very important thing to point out. Small thing to mention, if Afreeca find themselves in the same spot as last game, good news, their siege sucks more.
Yeah, it does. Let's just not have an AD carry. Sounds way better. However, they do have a lot more engage options.
Your hope would be that they just all press their R buttons and turret dive, right?
Yeah. That's the theory. However, we hoped that last time, and that was also difficult. Vertical jungling going to come through one more time, as the blue buff on the Afreeca side of the map is going to be where Tarzan takes his trip. Going to be a hookshot start here from Chovy as Yukal is going to discover that and take a fair bit of damage. This combination on the bottom side just feels awful if you're against it. I mean, I hate Sona Ezreal, but Lux Ezreal sounds even worse. As Amy's going to get light-bound, Tarzan's going to make his way down as well. Zenon's very squishy, aiming even squishy, has to flash. There we go, but Viper's going to trade his life. It's a 1-for-1, and I don't even really know who wins as they both have teleport. They'll be both back down there instantly, just with more gold.
And Dread wants to kill some piggies.
Oh, misses the blast cone, which is a problem. Zenon moves on up, though, as this Gromp, is it worth it? You're going to get the stuns down the queue. Is it actually going to land here?
Have to wait out the aftershock.
Is going to. Dread, good sidestep on that light binding, wants the next Q.
Oh, we're going in
and
deep.
He actually find it, does so, as the piggy's going to go down, but now Sword comes in. Yukal doesn't get the Q, the safeguard's great, but it's not enough. As Lahens is very low, double kill for the Ezreal. Is this game just going to be over before it even starts?
I mean, if this was a scrim, we would consider remaking because a lot of things happened. There was even a Vladimir teleport at the end.
I mean, there's a 300 gold bounty on Viper at 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's because he has 1,100 gold more than the enemy AD carry. And the enemy AD carry is Yasuo.
I was going to say, who is the enemy AD carry?
The minion wave. There was so much peace in the top lane. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I really wish Yasuo was playing his whistle.
Yeah.
Or his fiddle, whatever it is. So this lane... The flute, there you go. This lane, actually, at some point, Winwall gets Bazinga value against Lux Ezreal because they're all long-range skill shots. However, you don't have the Winwall at level 1. And so at level 1, they just ran them down, which was very well played. It was a good counter kill, though, and that meant that Ezreal was dead. From there, though, I believe it's hard to tell whether the aftershock was waited out or not. It definitely was attempted to, and I don't think it was, like you mentioned. But as the chase goes on, the TP is early from the chase, and he actually ends up getting involved. The TP from the Vladimir left a bit to be desired.
Yeah, and also Yukal's stun could have been on 2 people, but instead it was on 0
let's
people.
fight
So
again.
yeah, we're fighting one more time. Viper, that's a big bounty. Can they actually grab it?
Nope.
Arcane shift out of the way. Ezreal, I mean, he doesn't have a flash, but he still has an E, guys.
Well, you guys want an action, baby. 5 kills in 4 minutes, and we're close to more.
Yeah. Sword was actually looking for that solo into Keen as well. Keen does have the cloth armor as he goes back, but he's actually behind, of course, as you'd expect from the Vladimir versus the Jace here in these early levels. Cute little transfusion onto some Krugs.
Bad news, Viper's at 6 items already.
Oh god, how did he do it?
He bought a lot of cheaper ones. He also got so much gold. He has a 600 bounty in the old system, by the way. Remember,
Yeah.
you can't really go too high in the bounties.
Chovy getting some value out of that shield as Dread paying some attention into this mid lane.
Somehow Camille versus Aurelia, the camera has never been on this matchup. Even though it should be a huge PogChamp matchup between two playmaking solo laners. We've seen this matchup many, many times in the top lane, and in the mid lane now. And that changes the dynamic a lot.
It does. As we can see, bottom side of the map, aiming is actually doing well when it comes to the CS, now that everything has settled down. Viper still has way more money, though.
It's another game of Doran Ring Vladimir. I actually talked to some Vladimir players after yesterday, because, you know, we talked about it. I'm like,
curious, yeah.
Double scaling on health and ability power. You get 2 potions from it rather than the single potion from the Doran shield. So I think there's some matchups where it makes sense. Against Jace is a surprising one, just because you would get so much refresh on the Doran shield passive that it does feel like a weird time to go it.
Yeah.
But the big thing people are telling me is if you're not going Doran shield, because of the Dark Seal sellback nerf, where you get so much less money when you sell the item, and you know you're not just popping off with Magi's, etc., the Doran's Ring and the 2 potions actually put it in a really interesting middle spot, and that's why we might actually see more and more of Doran's Ring Vlad.
Which feels really bad. I just hate wasted stats, Popspeed.
No, I'm right there with you. I definitely feel triggered about it, but I understand it more.
Yeah, no, I get it now. And actually, I saw a tweet after that to that sort of effect, as Yukao comes in and gets boxed by Chovy's second shot of the E. Dread is on a ward.
He is.
And that's a pretty smart one there, so Chovy's not going to be going overly aggressive here onto Yukao.
Also 10 CS ahead. The lane spot here is terrible for Aurelia. Both these champions in the mid lane want to punish with the wave frozen outside their turret. We talked about it with Aurelia for so many patches. When there's 2 of them, it's always such a fun minigame of, if the mini wave ever gets here, of course the enemy jungler is camping around.
Yukao stacking up that passive, now has inside track as Chovy has chased him down. Tarzan in a little bit of trouble as Dread navigating around the skill shots of the Sejuani. Hextech Ultimatum comes in, Lucent Singularity gets a lot of value there as well. No one dying just yet. And instantly, 2 people go down. Double kill now for Yukao. Can he make it a triple? Bypass the Black, that's a triple kill. Huge shutdown and a gigantic Aurelia for the Afreeca Freecs.
Yeah, Afreeca's out of nowhere. They're fighting the top side at the same time. Our cameramen are losing their mind.
Yep, Crimson Rush there for Keen. He's going to save his life against a sword who's just ran out of mana. He needs a Doran's Ring as well, Papa Smithy, as this game is exploding.
And that's a lot of gold to go in the pocket of the Aurelia. Remember, shutdown.
That's a trade of shutdown golds, Papa Smithy.
Oh, boy.
Yep, we've now got another 3-0-0, and this time it's on the other side of the rift.
The new meta has approached us.
Yeah.
It's like you wanted, right, everybody?
Yeah, you've all heard of win trading. What about bounty trading?
I'm just up for action, Atlas.
Well, Keen is also up for killing Sword as Tarzan comes in. Great timing. Crimson Rush isn't going to be there. The flash after him, but Sword's not going to have any of it. Finds the auto, and Griffin win top side.
Q cooldown not available, probably a sliver of cooldown left.
So close. He had to flash into that brush, but just didn't get the click off in time.
And when you die in that spot, his TP is almost up, but almost, remember, is still a pretty long cooldown. This is probably going to be turret plates topside.
Yep. Does have himself the arm guard now completed, but no cooldown reduction is really important for these Vladimirs. This game is just going back and forth so often. As you can see, Yukao, he's desperate to try and share his gold lead across the map. Still behind by a little bit there in the mid lane, so we have a look at this one more time.
So, importantly, Chovy actually misses hook shot, and that's why Yukao even gets to the fight when he does. As it starts, chases in, you think, okay, but Viper's going to be there, and Yasuo is not. But as the fight goes on, look at how much work Yukao can do. Aftershock proc is nice, but not enough to keep him alive. The Drake is actually on Afreeca's side. It did a lot of damage to some of the members approaching the fight.
Yep. Aiming actually didn't manage to get anything done, but let's have a look at this from their perspective. World class.
That's a great translation. Thank you very much, G-Sun, for that.
Well, it's great to see Yukao with that confidence. We were talking about it before.
Chovy can't be a world-class player. He's never been to Worlds.
Nope. And Yukao has. He lost to Invictus Gaming in the semi-final.
Yukao now has triple Doran's Blade.
That is a lot of
The only reason you ever go triple is because I imagine Chovy bought one more, and then Yukao just wants to get as much flat stats as possible.
Whatever you can do, I can do better, I guess.
Because, you know, he's slowing down future items for more power now.
Yeah. And also, when you're trying to build a Trinity Force, like both of these mid laners are trying to do, you need a few item slots in order to put that one together. Light Binding goes wide on the bottom side. Ocean Drake, not exactly the highest value for this particular composition, as two of their carries don't actually have any mana. However, the extra health regen is going to be helpful, especially on the top side.
I'm just appreciating how everyone in this game has ultra mobility, or even the dredge line for mobility, and then there's Lux. Is going to be watching and staying away as much as possible, but otherwise the amount of trading places and creative dives and wombo combos, we still haven't seen a Last Breath combo, Atlas.
Nope, I don't even think aiming has been on the screen when he's level 6 just yet. So,
I don't even know if aiming's been on the screen in something approaching.
Hey, no, he windwalled Drake.
That's true.
He did. We saw that.
That is true.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Dread, no sword doesn't have his flash, so was thinking about a Rek'Sai tunnel pathing kick onto the Jace. Gonna go the more defensive way out.
Yeah, Control Ward's gonna come down, but knows that jungler and mid lane are on their way up. Tarzan nicking over this wall.
Shoes on the other foot now. Now Tarzan's the one doing a bit of counter jungle in the same matchup.
Yeah.
Jace has priority. Camille left first. Back in the mid lane now, but Dread has to be a lot more careful, as the early levels have been kinder to Tarzan, in spite of its 2 deaths.
Well, now we've got the stun actually coming in here onto Chovy. Hookshot comes down, actually uses it to try and escape, dodges the ultimate really, really nicely as Tarzan turns up first, but Dread not far behind. Yukal gets stunned for a lot of time as the ultimate does eventually go wide. Yakety Sax queue it up again, Papa Smithy, as this is a weird and wonderful fight that no one's going to win.
KR 2v2 in the mid lane, Atlas. It means something different now.
It does. Where are we? Okay,
back
we're looking
for
one more. Okay, Winter's Wrath comes in. Tarzan could be the target. Doesn't have the Aftershock. And that is going to be a dead piggy. Teleport in from Sword, followed by Keen. But Keen's running away. Everyone's dead. This game's a disaster. All right, that's a light binding straight into a wind wall. Lehen's just learnt the interaction between those two abilities and doesn't feel great about it.
This game is a fun palate cleanser, Atlas, after game 1 and 2, a lot more drawn out. Game 2 especially is being turned around in this one. Viper walked up to help. Lux decided she was going to hold a minion wave. All she can do is hand over some more gold. Importantly, though, aiming still doesn't get involved on the kill score.
Nope, does have a couple of assists, so it shows that he was there during some of these fights. This game.
A lot of limit testing this game.
That's true. Limit breaks. It's Final Fantasy, League of Legends style.
No, limit break is when I get really annoyed about a team
I don't know.
not
I feel like
being able
we're
to finish
almost
the game.
there. We're almost there. We've almost charged up the limit break.
There's 2 ways you can address games like this. You can smile, you can not smile. Here's the full replay of how it started. This is earlier when the stasis was taken out of the Lux. One of the reasons why the future kill worked. Let's see this fun move in the mid lane where very good timing on the Hextech ultimate stopped this from being an earlier kill, because Yuka had a few full stacks on the passive from the start. The miss was pretty comical.
Yeah.
We have to just censor the rest.
very good timing sort of stops at that point.
Yeah, I called the observers. I said let's censor the rest.
Yeah, no. Cut video, cut video. Our good friend Donkey certainly showed us that cut the video is something that you need to really get used to. You're creating highlights.
Viper has cashed in his call, now has Iceborne Gold, so the all-in onto him doesn't work. If they're able to win wall the light binding, then any Q or any knock-up onto Lux, she'll be instantly dead. She can only proc the aftershock if she hits light binding.
All right, Yukal's about everywhere on this map. But once again, that trade is going to happen. Yukal's trying to keep himself alive, flashes out of the way, loses singularity. Not going to pop for very much damage as an ultimate is going to land now from Tarzan. Flash in from Sword, but immediately he's going to be kicked back as Viper gets 2 kills. He's untouched. Keen doesn't have another pull, but gets at least underneath his turret. Griffin firmly take victory in that last fight, and it might be too much here for the Afreeca Freecs.
Griffin are starting fights on their terms. They're looking for more.
Yeah, Keen has to flash. Doesn't have the pullback available just yet. 14 minutes just ticked over. A lot of turret plates going wanting as they just fell down. No defense for this outer turret. That's the first one going over to Griffin.
The fans of action not going wanting this game.
Oh, no.
Consistent action. The what are we fighting for question no one is ever going to mention. That's the elephant in the room. We're not talking about elephants. No one said elephant.
Oh, get in there, Dread. Come on, mate. It's the game for it.
He thought about it.
He should have just done it. That was the theme.
In many games that'd be Lee Syndrome. In this game, it would be 14.
With the game with so much action, we had one turret plate for both teams. That's it.
Why would you fight about turrets?
Well, that's true.
You want to kill people. As that was the attempt in the mid lane as the play happened again. This time, some skill shots hit. That one did. But the most important one was the Sejuani ultimate. Yasuo tries to join with a teleport and flows in. But that's such an important Sejuani ultimate. Doesn't go wide, doesn't go begging. And Griffin is able to start the fight, and the combo ultimates never started. The Hema plagues after the Yasuo is dead, the Yasuo ult 2 is dead. This one, all Griffin, after some much more even fights earlier.
And also Griffin get everything else as well, as the next Drake is going to be that Infernal, and they're able to get inside track onto it.
Do you reckon that might provoke a fight?
Well, not this time. Surprisingly enough. The smart money would be on yes. As, okay. No Fnatic rush here for the Afreeca Freecs. Wave clear, available for aiming.
I think we cashed out the smart money after game 2.
Yeah, I think the smart anything is gone. That, I think that we only provide that until a certain point here at Lowell Park. Smart anything, no. Sold out.
Sora goes top side. He's got the I want to just dunk on Vladimir build. Was tweeted about this and had the chance to jump onto pro builds, and there is actually a bit more of a pickup on Manamune Jace once again.
Extra 10 AD.
Used to be the standard item, then Manamune was changed, and the mana costs were reduced, so everyone went back to this flat pen on Jace. And the only time it earned away Atlas was, if you remember, Khan started liking it at Worlds 2017. He started jumping onto the Manamune once again. Huni was building it as well at Worlds 2017.
Yeah, I remember that.
Since that time, with no mana cost changes, the Manamune left again, but people are just liking the flexibility of it, and the item is just more stat efficient after the latest buff of extra 10 AD. 10 AD is 350 gold, and thus people are saying, hey, why not?
Why are there 5 people in the mid lane? The Afreeca Freecs. Come on, silly billies. 16 minutes, we're close to Shelly making her way out of the rift. As the Afreeca Freecs don't want Griffin to take that one for free as well. Yeah, so towards the top side of the map is going to clear out these minion waves. The sword is getting worked on the bottom side. Keen will need him relatively soon. Going to be one of our first games of the Vladimir without the unsealed spellbook. Keen going towards phase rush. Haven't been able to talk about things like keystones.
Well, they've been so irrelevant, Atlas.
Yeah,
based on
there's been too much weird going on.
Thriller-minute action. I'm putting a moratorium on the word why this game.
Yeah, okay.
Just remove it from your vocabulary, you'll enjoy the game way more.
Yep, got it. I'll stop asking you things like that because having to explain madness could put you towards some madness yourself, possibly.
I'm just a play-by-play today, Alex.
Oh, is that how we're doing it?
Yeah.
Double play-by-play.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Joe and D-Man back at it again. We've come full circle.
I've got a British passport. How different am I from Steven, really?
Hey, that's true. I mean, we all still are. The Queen is our monarch, so it's true. Australia's basically the same thing. Referendum be gone.
Well, the referendum on this 1v1 is over. It's won by Jace.
Well, we'll see whether King can actually get this Crimson Rush over, as the Hemo Plague is still going to be there. Not doing a lot of damage, as level 11 crucially isn't there for Keen. As the flash Q goes wide. That moment epitomizes this game so far.
Sand walks topside with the Rift Herald. No kill onto Sword, who didn't even have flash in order to escape. See where the Rift Herald is used. For now, Afreeca going to win the race for the bot side turret, but it's an answering turret. Griffin going to be 2-1 up.
Yep, Tarzan moves on up as well, and that's going to be an inner turret being gifted over, courtesy of Shelly. Afreeca in the mid lane will get this minion wave towards the turret, but aren't going to be able to do too much more. As aiming versus Chovy in the mid lane is a matchup that I wasn't expecting when it comes to melee champions. Shelly doing some great work here as Viper just calmly and quietly is 5-2-1 and has put himself back together another bounty.
Nice trade up.
Really strong.
Nice trade up moment from Griffin. Whenever you see a Yasuo comp like this, you know they're always going to be grouped in clumps for the majority of the mid game. The moment they're like, oh, we could fight, is when the Yasuo comp's going to start clumping, and we saw already earlier today the Gragas Yasuo comps get rotated on easily.
Yeah.
In game number 2 of our first series, so taking that to heart, Griffin just able to open up the map, use the fact that they already had a turret lead in order to get bonus objectives. Not going to be the easiest to translate the inner turret they have in top side into an inhibitor by any means, but it's more vision patrolling they can do in the red side jungle, with the Baron spawning in 25 seconds.
Yep. Okay, so as we crest towards this mid-game, Griffin have themselves an Infernal Drake. They have a 4,000 gold lead. And the Afreeca Freecs have Yasuo, an Aurelia, and a Dream at this point. Keen, not quite powered up just yet. His dash cannon is on the way. His Zhonya's is on the way, but he's thrift shopping with all of the items in his build thus far. If there's ever a player that's going to be playing Vladimir and can change a game, I mean, I feel like it's the Shy and Keen. Like, these are the type of players that can hard carry by themselves, but Keen hasn't proven himself in that league just yet. He didn't make it to Worlds, so it's hard to make that claim. Flash forward, gets a flash and answer. Did you, Cal?
And lane assignments have changed, and we talked about how Aurelia hits a point where she can beat Jason the 1v1. That point is well and truly above us, but the trade of summoners and a turret going down, a tempo lead. The first turret, the first big action is still advantage Griffin, and is still Afreeca dealing with the consequences of that.
Yeah. Yukal does have himself a BF sword though, so you can see with a Trinity Force and a BF sword, Yukal's able to do a lot of damage to these turrets, and the max range shock blasts aren't going to be enough to even get you any CS. Sword. Griffin will be able to go over and grab their second Cloud Drake. Moving up. Sorry, I believe that the first Cloud Drake? It is. It was just we had the icon a little bit too early. Teleport going to come in looking for
double
Yukal.
TP.
Trying to turn this one around. Doesn't get himself the stun though. I believe Blade Surge is on cooldown. And he's trapped in the cage, not quite able to get it out. So Yukal couldn't make his way out of that one, and Viper turns up. That's going to be too much. Keen trying to turn this one around. Viper in trouble, but Keen's 1 versus 4. He's not strong enough yet and can't get anything off the back end. Senin, just wrong place, wrong time. Everyone's dead. A little bit too late on the rotations for Afreeca, and Aiming says, what are rotations? I'm going to try and take down a turret while the enemy team takes Baron.
And the coordination difference of the two teams there was clear for everyone to see. Afreeca weren't able to get there. Griffin's double teleport, guaranteed future kills, and now the Barons go falling low. They're turning on Senin, will they finish the Baron at the same time?
Yep, they certainly are. Senin's going to go gold, and a teleport is going to come in here as the Baron is extraordinarily low. Stays in smite range for an extraordinarily long time as Yukal teleported in, but he's probably going to die. Ultimate does fly forward, but this is no time to be a hero, my friend. You're going to lose your Guardian Angel for free, and your life for even freer.
Turning into a bit of a mud wrestle, but it seems like Griffin are much more in their element than they were in the early parts of this game.
They're the one with the piggy on their team, obviously.
It makes perfect sense. The double TP here before a single teleport even started channeling, and then you're defensively double TPing after Yukal was already condemned to death. This was a very big difference in terms of synergies. Loved how Chovy played the fight. No escape route, even if a ward jump happened, because the hook shot was already camping onto a ward like he was Smeb last year. Take him down, and now the gold lead is starting to get to pretty considerable leads for Griffin.
And that's only going to extend as we've got 2.5 minutes on this Baron buff as well as Chovy. There is a potential trap lying in wait, but it's only going to be a 1 versus 2 scenario, and I don't know whether that's necessarily going to be a victory here without things like Ignite. Because he has that Ravenous Hydra, he has his stopwatch as well as the Trinity Force. Viper gets himself a wind wall very, very early, and we mentioned the fact that Afreeca Freecs are going to have basically no siege, while their counter siege is about as abysmal as that.
Only wind wall is relevant there, Atlas, I agree with you. It's going to be very hard to get anything going. The Baron buff, the death knell of a comp like Afreeca, they only have an all-in option from 8,000 gold behind, and that already is fanciful. Keen's not strong enough for his Hemoblade to matter. He's 3 levels below Chovy.
Yeah. And Chovy can even get himself a custom-made shield to help him in this matchup.
For reference, he's 2 levels behind his previous opponent.
Yep. Okay, well, they're going to try and defend this inner turret. They failed to defend the inner in the mid lane. Inner had already gone down, top side of the map as well, so it's going to be inhibitor turrets next. Thankfully for Afreeca Freecs, they do have the top lane wave, but Keen doesn't have his Sandwich Ball, and that means they won't have this inner turret very much longer. Taken by Viper very, very easily.
Much easier for Griffin to finish the game quickly compared to Afreeca in the previous game, and especially Afreeca this game. So Griffin just have a lot of threat that right now Afreeca have no answer to. Do they go for a Yasuo Wombo? I'm not even clear if Yasuo has a second completed item.
I don't think you call it a Wombo when it's just them piling on top of Griffin to try and give them faster kills at this point. I feel like
jumped on by 5 kittens, perhaps.
Yeah, ganked by kittens. Sounds horrible.
Well, I've seen Yubi, so I'm not sure.
Oh, that's Final Spark coming in. The ultimate's going to land on Descent, and they're looking for that one. The Jace, he's taken out, though, as Fred. And aiming and going to get that one done. Yukal, another ultimate just goes towards the heavens. I believe he's landed one so far this game. The inhibitor is going to get wiped out. They traded it for Sword's life, but Sword is a player that's happy to go down for the good of Griffin, and 2 inhibitors is well worth the price.
And no options to fight front to back from Afreeca. They're a burst comp, and all their burst, their Yasuo's attention was on a Jace, and no ability to turn from that. So they lose double inhibitor. 3 objectives around the map, and feels like the next push when they bring in minion waves will be the last for Afreeca Freecs.
Yeah, Viper's finished his Luden's Echo as well.
Yep.
Saw this build being played with further on. I feel like if anyone's going to go towards more AP builds for 80 carries, it is just Viper. He just likes it. We have a look at this one yet again. Sword taken down very early, but the fight that happens on the other front is one that is all about Griffin.
From there, Keen just still has no threat. He's still so far behind. Multiple levels behind his lane opponents. So unfortunately, no bark behind the bite. The Infinity Edge is done for aiming, but he needs a dive biting. I just don't think Keen represents that yet in this particular game. With the Ezreal point, after the removal of double tier, the Luden's always prophesized as one of the replacement 45% CDR options. I still think it's really good, and you can go Gunblade in order to have that really hybrid build going. Merc Scimitar for now is kind of a lockout item from Viper's perspective in order to just end the game on a very near future push.
Yeah, we often see the Gunblade being completed before something like the Ludens. That is generally the third item that a lot of these more AP-focused Ezreals like to go with. Now, LCK Ezreals are generally Blade of the Realm King fans, but not by design. Aiming misses a Q on a stationary minion, which might tell the tale of how Afreeca are playing this game. As Dread looks for the flash and misses yet again on the Q. As he's not even in safeguard range of his teammates. Finally gets there as Chovy. Hextech ultimatum gets him right in on top of aiming. He loses so much of his health bar, and Jace is enough to finish it off. Yukal trying to dive into the backline as Viper is able to get himself out of the way. Sennen trying to get towards his Nexus turret. He can't do anything. Keen is now just straight up dead, even though he goes golden before that eventuality actually happens. The ace is swift, and Griffin put the last nail in the coffin of the Afreeca Freecs. It's a 2-1 victory, but it's a real weird and wonderful experience towards the final Nexus takedown.
A limit testing between Afreeca and Griffin, but it seems like those limits just are a little bit higher on the side of Griffin. And when the macro plays did come in towards the end, the double TP play, Afreeca had no answer to. They were late. Further deaths happen from there. And Griffin can smile and say, I'm trying to decide how much I agree with you on that point, because to some degree it's expected. Sennen coming in, it's again a very young lineup. On the other hand, this is the strongest possible lineup based on a lot of testing. So winning a game against Griffin is a good thing for Afreeca Freecs, and they did not capitulate in this series. But in the third game, which was, you know, so blow for blow and blood on both sides, it did end. It was kind of quickened the ending of game number 3. So I don't know what that will mean going forward, but what a weird and wonderful game 3 that did feel a product of the time.
Yeah, it was really fun. However, doesn't matter what the outcome is when you've got so many kills here in the LCK, you don't complain at all. As that was the stun that Yukal missed that may have actually been able to turn things
like
around.
A third replay on level 1. That's the kind of game we had here.
And this was Afreeca Freecs actually finding that great fight that turned this one into an interesting match.
Yukal
coming into the mid-game.
The fact that Yukal have been farming, the mid lanes being level 6 is so different to everyone else who was...
Oh, he did hit an ultimate.
Not even ultimate. I mean, yes, this was a very nice moment where the Ocean Drake did a lot of help. It really did, actually.
Yeah, the 6th man for the Afreeca Freecs. But this was a moment in the game.
There were many in the early game. Pre-level 10, we've had 5 replays already. That tells you kind of a game this was. It was entertaining. It was something to watch. And how much will it mean for the season for either the LCK medal, the LCK's development, or these two teams? We can't know. But some of the micro moments were awesome.
Yeah. This, on a Afreeca Freecs perspective, was not so good. As Keen was trying to do it, but if one of the stuns landed from Yukal, if the Q landed from Dread, then maybe Keen looks like a god in that moment. Wasn't to be the case, however, because hindsight is 2020. And Afreeca Freecs back to the drawing board, but they can be proud of themselves with how they played in game number 2 and how competitive game number 1 was, despite the fact that ultimately the series was a Griffin victory.
How many teams faced Griffin in spring and left with nothing? They left with negatives. They left with questions. Yeah. At least if we could come in and say, oh, this wasn't bad, and we did pretty well there, and this plan worked.
Yeah, we did this thing and it was good, you know?
They learned things this series, so they're going to be better for the run. And Griffin, what it means for them, and just how strong will Griffin be in summer season? We don't know the answer to that, but they come away with the points, and that's ultimately what these best of threes are about.
Yep, that will put Griffin in a theoretical equal 3rd place, or 4th place right now, as we conclude day number 2 of our first week of the summer split.
Yasuo bot didn't work.
Yeah, it did do a lot of damage to it.
Nope.
No. That's a yikes for me.
Retire that one. Put that one.
Not aiming, the Yasuo.
And we'll be fair, no Talia for Viper, no Yasuo for Amy.
Yeah, no Pantheon for Lehens.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no more flash queuing from Dread either. Not a fan of that one.
Didn't work this time, for sure.
No,
Let's see the MVP vote. A lot of people could be considered here, and the end result, KDA is big, the kill participation is high. Sword on Jace will be your MVP in game number 3.
Yep, you mentioned that it was a difficult decision to make. I don't think either of us voted for Sword, but I'm not too worried about the fact that he managed to pick that one up. This was very, very close to going horribly wrong, but in the end, he was able to get into the brush and make things work. Don't even think the Crimson Rush was going to be enough damage there to kill him in the end.
I really found it difficult to choose an MVP. I went with Sejuani. I went with the jungler.
I went with Viper.
I think that's fine too.
Yeah. I felt like Viper was the only one that had his head screwed on, apart from getting killed underneath the turret at the very beginning. But honestly, it makes things way more fun if things are a little bit more hectic.
Well, I want to hear from the players, and hopefully I'm going to ask some questions about that crazy
Ask and you shall
game.
receive, Pop Smithy. Let's throw it over to G-Sun for some interview translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This was interview translation, and we're going to be hearing from Viper, Sword from Griffin, picking up 2-1 victory today. How was today's game?
요즘 메타가 좀
Well, the current meta, the games are really short.
장로 드래곤도 못 보고 원래
Well, some games really end before seeing the Elder Dragon, but we did see twice in game 2.
제가 이런 게임을 하게 될 줄 몰랐어요.
I didn't expect to play such a long game.
아마 팬분들도 모두 예상하지 못하셨을 것 같아요. 그리고 소드 선수는 지난
Sword.
스포츠에 뭐 소드 선수의 공격성에 대한 얘기도
A lot of people
나오고
were
했는데
commenting about your aggressiveness, and I think you changed your playstyle a little bit. Well, we only played one game yet, so we have to wait and see. And a lot of fans were excited to see you versus Keen on top lane, and I think you won today. Why was that? Well, because of my new glasses. I want to recommend. I want to thank my mom and dad who recommend this new rectangle glasses.
시야를 넓게 보게 됐다 이런 얘기를 하기도 했었는데 오늘 제대로 증명해내신 것 같습니다. 자, 지난 시즌에 아쉬움을
So in the previous
털어버리기
split,
위해서 더
it was really sad to stay in second place. So how did you prepare for the summer split?
갖고 계신가요?
What's your goal?
목표는 항상
Always
결승전 가서
going to the finals and
결승전 올라온 팀이랑
fight them
우승하는 게 목표고요.
and, you know,
이번 시즌엔
win the
꼭
trophy.
롤드컵을 가보고 싶어요.
And for this split, I really want to make it to Worlds.
많은 팀들의 최고 관심사가 아닐까 싶은데요. 소드 선수 자신 있으신가요?
Sword, are you confident?
자신 있어요.
Yes, I am.
네, 이번에는
To make it to Worlds.
네, 그리핀이 꼭 롤드컵을 진출하길 기대해 보겠습니다. 자, 첫 경기 상대가 아프리카였습니다. 전력
So your first opponent of the split was Afreeca.
오늘 상대해 보니까 어떠셨나요?
And a lot of people were expecting a stronger Afreeca for this split.
말씀하셨듯이 아프리카가
Well, CVMax
강하다고
also
생각해요.
told us that
잘
they're going to be
준비해서
stronger. So
했는데도 좀
we
이번
prepared a
게임이
lot,
힘들었던 것
but
같고
game 2
더
was
잘
really
준비해서
challenging. So I think we have to
그리핀이
prepare
사실
more.
지난 스프링 때 감독님의 뭐 코리아
Griffin.
한판 지향한다 이런 인터뷰
Well, CVMax said in the previous interview that you guys are aiming to make a speechless team fight without calls.
2세트 때
Well, we didn't really change a lot, but
말이 아무도 없더라고요.
when we were when Afreeca players were taking down our Nexus, we were actually speechless.
사실상 정말 거의 다 넘어간 경기를 끝없이 막아냈어요. 그때
Well, however, you guys are able to like defend the game really well, especially with the late game Silver.
이거 하라고 만든 챔피언인 것 같아요.
Well, Silver is designed to do these things.
넘겨주기는 했지만 그래도 정말 잘 막아내는 모습이었습니다. 그리고 또 인상적이었던 장면이
And another impressive moment was that Game 1, actually, you guys are a little bit behind, but after the two Baron team fights, you guys were able to turn the game around, especially the second one. So, what was going on over here?
별 생각은 없었고요.
Well, nothing was really special.
다 죽이면 되겠다 생각해서
We knew that Nico's ultimate was down, so I was like, I'm just gonna go kill them all.
이때 혹시 아지르를 끊는 판단은 초비 선수랑
Whose decision was it to just melt down Azir first?
초비 선수가
Well, Chovy,
무조건 아지를 보겠다고
he
이미
said
텔
he
때부터
got his
설계가
eyes on him,
들어갔어요.
so it was all designed when he just TP'd in.
그리고 2세트를 지나서 3세트 가기
After
전에
game
감독님이
2,
열심히 피드백하는
we saw
장면이
CV
화면에
Max
나오기도 했는데요.
giving a lot of
그때
feedbacks in the
감독님이
coach's
어떻게
box.
느끼셨나요?
오히려 제가 많이 잘려가지고 욕먹지
Well, I got cut out a lot,
생각했는데
so I was a little bit
그런
afraid that he's gonna be mad at me.
바꿔야겠다라는
But actually, he was like, we need to change our draft and pick and bans.
이렐리아를 이제 처음으로 풀어주셨는데
Game 3, you guys opened Aurelia.
궁금해요. 어떤 선택이었는지.
I really want to know why.
이게 지금 탑에서 이렐리아 승률이
Well,
거의 0%잖아요. 그래가지고
Aurelia
탑으로 나오면
has
괜찮을
0%
거고.
win rate in top
예를
lane
들어
right
세어도
now.
초비 선수가
And even
알아서
if it
해주겠다라는
rotates to
생각을
mid lane, we knew
했었던
that
것
Chovy will do his work,
믿음이
so
있으셨고요.
I trusted
그리고
him.
제이스를 소드 선수가
And
서머에서
Sword,
처음으로
you
사용을
played Jace
하셨어요.
for the first time in the
사실 너프가 되고
summer split.
나서 활용도가 있을까
So a
싶기도
lot of people
했는데
were
오늘
actually
템트리를
questioning
비롯해서
about the
제이스에
possibility of Jace in top lane because of its nerf.
지금 제이스가 너프를 당해가지고
Well, it did go through some of the nerfs, but it is still strong in the laning phase in early game.
약해 보이긴 하지만 이제 템빌드로 중후반에
So,
힘을 더 실어서
With different item build, we can like compensate the nerfs. So I think we are still able to kind of use it in games.
보여주셨습니다. 그리고 3세트가 1세트와 거의
Game
픽이
3,
똑같았죠.
you guys went
카이사만
with a very similar draft compared to game 1.
일단 카이사가
Well, it's changing from Kaisa to Ezreal. I mean, Kaisa is really good,
선픽할 만한
but it's not a champion to blind pick or first pick.
변화를 줬던 것 같아요.
So that's why we changed the AD carry.
그렇게 잘 풀어내셨고요. 상대가 B1딜 야스오가
And
나왔는데
then
이건 예상을
Aiming played non-ADC Yasuo.
아니요,
Did you
하고
expect that?
있었고요.
정말요?
저도
We didn't expect it
이즈리얼 럭스
because
상대로 야수 좋아해서
I practiced a lot of Yasuo
상대가
against
이즈리얼 하면
Ezreal and
야수가
Lux
있는데.
composition, so
예, 상대카드로
that's a good counter pick. So
네, 알겠습니다.
I kinda
언젠가 또
expected it.
야스오도 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 아까 말씀하셨듯이 바이퍼 선수가
As you
반드시
mentioned,
우승하고 싶다 이런
Viper,
얘기
you said you really want to
하셨는데요.
win this
이번
season.
서머 가고
So
마지막으로
any resolution for the summer split?
이번 서머 때는
This
좀
summer
더
split,
재밌는 경기를 많이
I
보여줄
just
수
want to
있을 것 같아서
show.
더 열심히
I think we will be able to
해야지.
show more of the entertaining games and exciting games. So I'm just going to do my best to show better performance to the fans.
소드 선수의 개인적인 목표도 들어보겠습니다.
And Sword, what is your personal goal of the split?
생각은 똑같은데
Well,
다시
same as Viper.
결승 갔으면 좋겠네요.
I really want to go back to the finals.
멋진 경기력을 보여줄 그날까지 서머 이제 시작이니까요.
This is the start of the summer split, so I will be supporting you guys to reach the finals.
오늘
So
MVP
this will be the end of the interview with Viper and Sword from Griffin, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
중계선
Thank you
연결할게요.
so much, G-Sun, and also thank you to Sword and to Viper as well for their performances today. Viper especially, game number 1, absolutely phenomenal Kai's performance, and then was able to keep his head in the game to help him through to a victory as well alongside Sword in game number 3. So that is going to be 1 point secured, 3rd place. Now gained for Griffin as KT and Sandbox, our only teams, to 2-0 their opponents so far in week 1.
No confirmations on movers or shakers just yet. SK Telecom T1 and Kingzone will make their debut tomorrow, not against each other, but they will both be playing in tomorrow's games, and then we'll finally have seen at least one visit from all of the teams. That's your and I's shift for this week done, Atlas.
Yeah, Brendan Valdez will be coming in tomorrow with you alongside him, Papa Smithy, as I will be taking some time off until Sunday.
Our first series probably will be just an SKT comfortable victory return from MSI, but our second series is a real must-watch one. Very
that's an
interesting match.
one.
Gen.G coming off a victory and yet looking very Gen.G doing it. They were very much the no-nonsense ruler will carry. Is Kingzone going to have Neon put on his best Karma Lux and have Def try to carry? Because this could be the battle of the more utility mid laners and the AD carries. They are god tier between those two.
Absolutely. Ruler versus Deft is a very exciting one. Life has been stepping up his play as well, and I'm so happy to see Tucson back again. So that second match tomorrow is going to be a must-watch. But for now, that is going to be it for us. It's been a long day yet again. A 3-game series, but Griffin ultimately the victors. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you again tomorrow for more LCK action as Week 1 is going to continue. And as all of our teams continue playing through, who will claim that top spot? Find out tomorrow.